And there's some good people at the Daily Wire. I don't want to attack them all, but I'm going to tell you folks, they are worse than the Democrats. They are the Judas goats. They are Judas Iscariot. Ben Shapiro is Judas Iscariot.
That's Alex Jones taking sides with Steven Crowder in the feud between him and Ben Shapiro, and everybody featured at the Daily Wire. And of course, making an anti-Semitic comment in the meantime. Before we get to more of Alex Jones, we'd like to give a special someone who predicted that the right wing would turn on Ben Shapiro during Ben's argument with Candace Owens and Kanye West. We'd like to give them a little credit. So who was it? Take a look.
The reason Shapiro was in a tough spot, as we explained on day one, the minute Candace Owens said her defense of Kanye West, I was like, oh, Shapiro's screwed. Because now if he fires her, people go, oh, cancel culture. Oh, now we can't be anti-Semites. Hashtag freedom of speech, baby, right? And a ton of the right wing are anti-Semites. And so he set up his camp in the middle of a nest of vipers. And so all of a sudden he looks around and he goes, oh, I woke up and it turns out there's vipers everywhere.
Okay. There you have it.
So the Judas Iscariot line is a deeply anti-Semitic trope. It's been used for centuries, millennia. And so when he calls Ben Shapiro, who's Jewish, Judas, that's not subtle at all. He's basically saying, look at the goddamn Jew, okay? And it's terrible, but that's terrible to all of us. For right-wingers, it's kind of music to their ears. I mean, what's the whole George Soros thing? I mean, you would think they're worried about donors. Everybody should be worried about donors, but no, they never talk about the Koch brothers or other Democratic donors that are Christian, right? Pelosi's raised $1 billion, the overwhelming majority from Christians, but they never talk about that. They always talk about Soros because he's Jewish, right? So Shapiro thought, oh no, Judeo-Christian heritage. Yeah, how's that working out for you? So no, they were always anti-Semites. The whole thing with, oh, we support Israel so much. You know why, right? End times theology. So that at the end, Israel and all the Jews that live there are destroyed and murdered, except for 144,000 that convert to Christianity. So the whole thing of like, oh, we love the Jews is so we love the Jews so you can all get murdered in our Armageddon. They're not your friends. They're not your friends. And so this is just the latest example of that.
Yep, we do have a little bit more of Alex Jones, so let's take a look at that.
The Daily Wire was founded by a billionaire family out of Texas, connected to natural gas and fracking. That's involved in a real weird religious movement that backed Ted Cruz, that founded the Daily Wire to take out Breitbart and Bannon, to try to take out the populist wing of the Republican Party. Jeremy Boring has admitted that being an anti-Trump platform was their foundation. They were backed by spook-related money and spook-related sources. Their goal, it's not a coincidence they were big backers of Ted Cruz. It's not a coincidence they were big Trump haters. It's not a coincidence they've whored for every war in existence. The Reuters, AP, Young Turks, Media Matters, all those organizations all took the spin for the Daily Wire against Steven Crowder. I think Crowder stumbled into this. Crowder didn't realize he was stumbling into an Operation Mockingbird operation. But I mean, to give people an idea, the Daily Wire is backed by billionaires, probably $1 billion company, makes hundreds of millions of dollars a year. This deal was done in order to lock up and co-opt and control and cabin and contain conservative voices.
Which was what Fox News has been doing forever.
And we here at InfoWars are backed by Ultimate Bone Broth. I'm not sure if you saw that behind him. So there's that. Yeah, so just to get everybody out there, Tim Pool had Crowder on. This is how that went down.
People don't believe. There are no investors in Timcast. There's only me as the principal of the entire company, sole owner, sole board member, president, CEO, treasurer, chairman, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Their staff, I have a COO, we've got people who work here, but I own literally all of it, control all of it with no outside investment. It's literally just, I started making.
And you're not even Jewish.
Yeah, I'm
just saying as a joke to the anti-Semites in there. By the way, we're not talking about. No one we're talking about is even Jewish. Just to be clear.
That's a point I make all the time. Yeah. There are people who have been successful in media who aren't. I don't know why they have that conspiracy belief.
So there is that, and also we don't have time to play this, but apparently today Candace Owens said on her show that she has information that people came forward with on Steven Crowder So just beware, she doesn't want to have to use it. Don't make her use it. There's a lot going on, Cenk. Can you help us sort through it?
Yeah, so look, in the beginning, Crowder was losing because people found out that it was a $50 million contract and that he was calling it slave contract. And they're like, wait a minute, you don't even have to work on Fridays here, you get $12.5 million a year, are you crazy, right? So he lost his own right-wing crowd a little bit there. And I thought for a second, I was like, oh, okay, I guess Shapiro is gonna win this. And Daily Wire is very popular in the right wing, or was. And then I realized how, like, within half a day, oh no, Crowder's gonna win at that, okay? Why? Because he's wrong. The right wing's not gonna back anyone who's right. Like, there's no chance of that. Crowder's the one that's lying and doesn't understand the contract at all. And is, by the way, look, in that Tim Pool Crowder exchange there, they were mainly joking, right? But Crowder has said actually anti-Semitic things that we've shown on tape here in the past. So he's more hateful, he's totally lying. And then when reasonable people like us and Reuters say that Shapiro is right, oh, that's it, Crowder's definitely gonna win. Right now, Alex Jones, when he's like, which was more of a lunatic? Crowder's more of a lunatic, I'm on his side. So now Crowder's winning. And I should have known that from the first minute on the story.
For me, I never thought of it in terms of who's gonna win and who's gonna lose. I'm winning because they're fighting. And I think that's hilarious. I think Steven Crowder is a guy who other people paid for his success to be possible. He just took a paycheck and got huge, and now he's doing the thing that a lot of people do, where they say, now I'm the big guy, and I'm a quantity that you don't have at Daily Wire. Daily Wire, you got a bunch of dork bags. And when people laugh at you guys, they go, Steven Crowder, you don't have the people on the right who, when they tell crappy jokes, people go, oh bro, that's awesome. That's the voice they're looking for. And I think Steven Crowder, he didn't really understand it, but if he does, I think he could potentially try to build out his own presence with a Daily Wire type organization and just try to offer a different contract. But the odds are he probably will be backed by some wealthy investor too.
Yeah. And so last thing here is that Alex Jones in that segment went after Fox News, Daily Wire, and then The Blaze. So what that means is now it's a melee. Everybody on the right wing is attacking one another for clout. Well, welcome to our world. Yeah. So this is Dave Rubin and Jimmy Dore, but now on the right wing. Now they're all gonna and their right wingers is probably gonna be a lot more vicious. And there you start to see it with the Judas Iscariot talk, etc. They're gonna rip each other to shreds, and that is definitely gonna be fun to watch.